So around the corner from where I grew up, there's a Home Depot and a Sam's Club, just local two shops that we go to. And there's a huge bridge underpass that you go by and pass. Once you go under there, and as I grew up, I'd started to see more homeless people making shelter there. And when I was a kid, the police were able to say some things about having them move or move to another place just because they're blocking essential emergency services like a sidewalk. You can't be blocking a public sidewalk. And that's where they were staying. But now California has passed laws to allow these homeless people to stay there and kind of seek shelter wherever they see fit. And this is just a growing problem, and that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of problems of homelessness that I want to get into. One quote that I want to bring up, it's from, Bloomberg 2016, California hosts 40% of the homeless population. And I'm putting an emphasis on California in this speech, but homelessness is an issue everywhere across the United States. If you go to any big city, you're going to see some severity, it varies, of homelessness. This could lead to all different types of psychological issues that I will get into. So first, we're going to talk about the cause, the problems, the backlash of these causes and problems, and then lastly, my solution is what I'm going to be getting into. So without further ado, I'm going to go into my first point of homelessness. So from Cron 2018, family homelessness is a growing problem in California and across all the United States, and is mostly headed by families are mostly headed by single women. This can all lead to substance abuse, the kids being mistreated, etc. So these issues go far beyond just them taking up space on a public sidewalk or something like that. The second point I want to go into is from Holtzman, 2019. The rapid growth in homelessness posed one of the greatest social and political challenges for America. A lot of it has to do with California, being because we're just one of the most populous states. We do host a lot of homeless people. But combining these 2 points, when you have the social and political challenges and the upbringing of the children and the substance abuse, this just creates a hurricane for disaster, so to say. So I'm going to be going into my second main points, kind of the effects of what these two things do. So from Schneider and Bloomberg of 2020, a statistic that I found was of California's 150,000 homeless people, more than 2/3 of them are unsheltered, and that can take into account for about over half of the nation's homeless unsheltered population. That's why I'm putting an emphasis on California, because it is a big problem here, but it's when you talk about California's homeless problem, you're talking about most or over half of the United States. So next point I'm going to be talking about is from Lincoln, 2019. Due to many people's upbringing in these conditions, homelessness causes many issues. So like I was kind of touching on a little bit earlier, the psychological impact on these people is detrimental to society, to social issues, to political issues. That's just scraping the tip of the iceberg, honestly. There's a lot of different things that you all probably know. There's just a lot of different things that homelessness brings that, is going to burden to society. And we just want to do something to help and further better it. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. And my last main point is a solution, my solution to what I think can be better, and also something I also see signs of the government and other people doing things that the solution I brought up. So the main solution I'm bringing up is to provide funding for full-time housing for these people. And if you look at these points from the United to End Homeless of 2021, housing works and support groups are very important, as well as having funding. Having money is key. We already pay enough taxes. If we can put our money aside, or just do whatever you can to help and give money to the government or give money to these foundations, we can easily provide housing for these people. It's actually cheaper if you look at it in the long run, but a lot of people just don't want to put the money up front, especially our government. They think it's cheaper for the time being, but it will be cheaper down the road to provide housing for these people. The last sub point I want to get into is from the ca.gov 2021, with help of the government's housing support program that they already have in place, it works to provide permanent housing and shelter for these people. A lot of it is part-time housing, and they already do kind of give money in a sense. It's to the people that work at these shelters in place like that. They give money to them to help them move, go to different places, and go to different shelters. But if we can find a set in stone, or even renting out apartments to them, until just to help these people get back on their feet. A lot of homeless people aren't past the breaking point of, being insane or not being helpful to society. A lot of these people could help still in the future. So if we can do these things, then we could be able to do that. So without further ado, that was my solution. I want to go into the last conclusion portion of this speech and just kind of go over my main points. So we have the cause that we talked about. It was the two problems we had. It was the rapid growth of homelessness, psychological issues, and substance abuse, and what that can do. The second was being the backlash, kind of the people's upbringing in these conditions. It leads to this. The statistic about the 2/3 and the 150,000 people that are homeless. And lastly, it was my solution, providing funding and providing full-time housing for these people to help them get back on their feet, or to just get them off the streets and, solve these social and political issues that we deal with in the United States today. My call to action, it's pretty simple. It's just help others. Whenever you see a homeless person, do whatever you can to help them. A lot of these people, there are other people out there that, will do something and do things to just try and get a quick money grab, and they're not actually homeless, and they're just doing that to hustle you. But so a lot of people, there's a lot of veterans and other people out there that really need it. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for your time.